proud member of the class of '67 from Sunnyvale High School, and
I'm Max Epps, proud class of 1973, Sunnyvale High School with Malcolm High.
So we met at the first Sunnyvale High School reunion football game, which I called Jets Under the Lights.
Yes.
And I walked in there not knowing if there was going to be 50 people, 100 people. It was like 250 Jets showed up. And Max was the first Jet that I met. I think you were wearing a Niners uniform.
Yes, I was wearing, I think that first day we met, I was wearing the T.O. jersey.
Yes.
That's right, I had my
T.O.
T.O. jersey.
Yeah, T.O. So I said to Max who I was and what I did, and he was giving his history, and I said, a special memory from Sunnyvale High, and Max talked about Van McClung.
Van McClung.
So give me 30 seconds of what you said.
Basically, Van McClung was the football star
at Sunnyvale High School in the time period that I was there, basically 71 through 73. And Van broke one against our arch rival, Fremont High School, who used to basically beat us around and treat us like stepchildren.
Yeah.
But Van broke 70, I'm not sure if it was 74, 76, but he broke 4 or 5 tackles, scored a 76-yard run, and it's just something I'll never forget because we beat Fremont that weekend, and we did not have a lot of success against the Indians.
Yes.
At that time, the Indians, I think they're the Firebirds.
Political correctness, they switched. So later on, 20 minutes later, I go to my car, and there's people getting out of their car. It turns out it's a group of 6 or 7, and there's Van McClung. Max had not seen Van in like 20 years. I actually thought that something disastrous had happened to him, and he had gotten shot. And
we'd heard rumors.
There was rumors.
Van was from Mississippi, Tougaloo County, Mississippi, which I think isn't Elvis from somewhere around there, Tougaloo County?
I think Max and Elvis were pals, right?
Yeah, that was it.
Tupelo.
But we'd heard rumors that Van had gotten in a bar fight and had actually gotten shot in a bar fight and was deceased.
That story didn't actually come out till part 2 of this story, and so I said, I'm interviewing him. Hey, there's 6 people, and then Van's the last one. I says, wait a minute, you're Van McClung. He had already gotten his little name tag, and I'm asking people their favorite memory, and you're part of somebody's favorite memory, Max Epps. He goes, Max is here? So we fast forward, and then Van sneaks up. Max gives him a bear hug.
The bear hug from behind.
And Max is like, man, this feels like high school again. He turns around, and it was priceless. The look, and then instant bondship. So anyway, that was terrific. So Max is going to tell us what he's been doing for the last year.
The last year, I now am the assistant coach of the San Jose State men's bowling team, along with Lindsey Wong, who is head coach. We kind of have the titles head and assistant coach, but we're both basically the coaches of San Jose State. Lindsey and I are on the same page as far as how bowling should be taught, how it should be treated as a game as a whole, and how the individuals who participate for us should be treated, so that it makes it very easy to work with them.
And Max Max's experience in bowling is such that I found out he was quite a bowler. You were almost on a professional level.
I've been bowling since 1959.
Actually, he goes home and he sleeps and he eats. He literally has not. His arm would fall off.
Wait a
minute, 1959? You must have been like, how old?
I was 4.
Oh my God.
I was 4. And my first year I bowled, I averaged 66, 64, 66, somewhere in there, but without bumpers, which I always like to bring up because nowadays the young children, they have the bumpers to play out with the kids, and we didn't have that advantage. I think.
So you literally have to roll it down the middle, hopefully hit the pins, and you got 66 out of how many? 300?
Yeah. I think with bumpers I could have actually averaged 80 that year. I think I could have been an 80 bowler.
So advance it forward, and I think Max has actually bowled a few 300 games.
Yes, I actually have 67 sanctioned 300 games, Malcolm, and 25 sanctioned 800
You have 67 more 300 games than I have. I think my best is like a 189.
Well, people think that 67 sounds like a lot, and it is quite a few, but in my close circle of friends, I'm like 4th or 5th. My best friend Skip Pavoni has over 80, Ty Dawson has over 80. So it sounds like a lot, but in our world of professional bowling, it's kind of middle class.
It's middle class. There is no middle class in the Bay Area, but Max is, and you know what, the number, I'm going to be a self-serving statement here, but the number 67, which you're stuck on, which you will get to 68, is the age that I am and the year that I graduated.
Well,
not many people at their 50th can say they're the same age as the year they graduated, and that's coming up in the end of September. So, Max, give me the feelings about your experience of your 4 years at Sunnyvale High School.
My 4 years at Sunnyvale High School were, in one word, awesome. I take that back. My 3 years at Sunnyvale High School. I actually came as a sophomore to Sunnyvale High School.
Oh, and you transferred from?
The service, the military.
Oh, there you go.
We come from Karamazov, Turkey, actually.
Oh my gosh, did not know that.
Yes, I was an Air Force brat, and my dad got stationed at Moffett Field in the Satellite Test Center, the Blue Cube.
Yes,
and
which they just took down.
Yes, they just took down, and that got us here to Sunnyvale,
Nice.
California. And we moved on Bernardo and Ayala Avenue, which is the borderline, come to find out, between going to Fremont High School and going to Sunnyvale High School. So they gave me a choice.
When you graduated from Sunnyvale High School, lead us forward in your life from there.
Graduating from Sunnyvale High School, I first went to De Anza for 6 months, bowled there on the De Anza bowling
you bowled?
team. Yes,
Okay.
I actually bowled on Eddie Pursuit, who the former second baseman of the New York Mets.
I met Eddie Pursuit at a wedding at the Obi Obenauer, you know, the trainer at De Anza. He had his 50th wedding anniversary, and he hired me to do it. And Eddie was a guest.
Oh, okay.
And I met him, and he's a wonderful guy. He's
Yes.
84 years old.
84. I would like to see him again if possible. In that,
I can arrange that.
Because technically he was my first bowling coach.
That is amazing.
No,
we didn't rehearse any of this other than the fact that we memorized our names and when we graduated, but that's terrific. So De Anza, and from De Anza.
De Anza, I stayed at De Anza for 6 months, and then I got an offer to go bowl at Cal.
Did not know that either.
So I went and bowled at Cal for a little bit, and then I just turned, in 1974, I decided to turn professional.
So you're a professional, and I have to ask you the question: why doesn't it get more respect? Because you think of movies like Kingpin, and bowling is for old guys,
right?
But the stamina, I know this from talking with you in the past. You need to be athletic.
Yes,
and have stamina. But go ahead.
And as all other sports, what's happened now is the physical aspect has come into it. It's staying in shape, working out, doing things that we didn't do back then. Bowling in those days had the stigma of the beer drinkers, the pot belly.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of individuals, on names I won't mention, on tour that fit that mold, and that's kind of the mold that everyone saw.
Who do you think, if you had to pick one person that broke that mold, who do you think? I mean, Tiger Woods was the first golfer that I remember that came out a little bit chiseled and worked his way up. So in bowling, who would that be?
I would think it started with maybe Parker Bone, Marshall Holman, David Houston, that era back in the mid-'70s. They started getting slimmer, working out, doing crunches, 100 crunches a day, things of that nature, and actually brought the physical aspect into it. And their results, a la Tiger Woods in golf, their results brought the rest of the tour with them.
Fantastic. Give me how long were you a professional bowler? Because I know at some point you end up in Reno on television. So give us that.
Actually, I've always stayed a professional bowler the entire time. Now, whether I bowl in a lot of stops or a lot of tournaments is another story. Depending on, like you said, when I was doing the Tahoe radio and TV gig up there.
Give us a little detail on that. How did that evolve? And how old were you when you got up there?
I went to Southern California in 1989 to become a bowling alley manager. I managed the bowling centers down there, Forest Lanes in Lake Forest. I managed Keystone Lanes in Norwalk, and also the other one slipped.
That other one, the third one, the trilogy. Godfather Part 3 was horrible. We only remember the first two.
Yes, Westminster. So, and that was a very short-lived non-love affair, as we should say. And then I decided, since I was in Southern California, I wanted to live a dream. I'd always dreamed of being in radio and television, so I decided to pursue that and stop running bowling centers.
And one of the things that I discovered about Max before he told me that day 3 years ago was he was very smooth in front of a camera. And I called him, "Hey, that was one take, Max." And then he goes, "Well, truth be told, I had
I'd done some camera
brief
work.
career doing this." So tell us about how much you enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it tremendously, Malcolm. It was the big fish in the little pond syndrome. I got to open everything. I did Oktoberfest. I did the parades with Tahoe Tessie, our version, Lake Tahoe's version of the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, thank you for bringing in Scotland.
Yes.
And actually, going back, you were a big jet in a little hangar.
Yes. Looking at it that way, yes. I was a big jet in a little hangar. But it was a great experience. I loved doing. I had mornings. I had the morning show there from 6 until 10. Wow. I also ended up being program director and music director as it carried along over the years. So basically, the radio station sounded and played the way kind of I wanted it to sound.
It was your style. Yes. That's fantastic. Hey, briefly, top 5 songs from that era that you got requested, or were
Top
your
5
favorites?
songs: Mariah Carey, no doubt, was very big then, and the Symphonic Stones. They were actually
The Symphonic Stones.
yes, in time.
I can't get no satisfaction. Oh no, different Stones.
No, actually, the Rolling Stones.
Oh, was it the Rolling
Yes,
Stones?
it is.
Here I'm joking
Rolling
about it.
Stones. They put out a 4-disc set. I mean, 4-song set, 4-song CD, and basically was
Symphonic Stones.
yes doing Ruby Tuesday, of course Satisfaction, but it was Symphonic Stones with an entire symphony band behind them.
Fantastic.
It was quite an effort.
I just realized something sitting with Max is when he is asked a question, he tends to repeat it, which is great because when you're doing your editing, it stands on its own. So poor guy's going to think, now I got to do that every time.
No.
So from there, how
From
did your
there,
career progress?
I didn't get to bowl a lot because on the weekend I was doing a lot of personal appearances. Again, a lot of openings of pawn shops, the slot tournaments at the casinos. At one point, I was actually the voice of Harvey's and Harrods.
Tell me about that. How were you the voice? Just as
Basically, when you walk in and you hear "Welcome to Harrods," blah, blah, blah.
okay, so
Yeah,
give
I
it to me.
did.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, take it.
Welcome to Harvey's. You can enjoy our buffet style on the second floor. We have gaming and gaming and everything's on the first floor.
Oh.
But Bill Cosby ended up taking that away from me. As yes,
Another
as
reason
I
you
did.
just like a Jello Man. That's fantastic.
So that went to I stayed there until 1998, and then I joined a company. Decided to go back out and get a company. I was made a great offer to work for a company called Dental Refiners. And basically what you do with that is you travel the country as a salesperson and you pick up the gold crowns extracted by dentists from teeth.
So you've always been searching for that gold crown,
Yes,
Max, and you had to go through the dental, what was it, dental?
Dental Refiners, yes.
Dental Refiners.
Great company, great people. Very good indeed.
They had the program good, but Max had to refine it just a little bit, just right.
I missed bowling, basically, is what happened. I missed the tournament competition. I missed being around my friends. I just missed the camaraderie that the game gave me. And I kind of morphed into the corporate world, per se, and that's not where I wanted to be to start with.
So tell us what's going on in your life the last 5 years.
Last 5 years, San Jose State. Trying to stay healthy, coaching San Jose State, meeting a lot of nice young people, coaching kids 12 and under, 16 and under, those types of things. Always looking for talent that might want to come to San Jose State and trying to keep us relevant. We are the little engine that could. We would be the Gonzaga of basketball, the Boise State of football. Well, we just made nationals 4 years in a row, which was unprecedented in San Jose State's history.
Fantastic.
And that was very good for us, but we did not make nationals this year, I'm sorry to say. We came up short.
So you are a mentor to many people. Who in your early career was named 2 or 3 of your mentors?
Earl Anthony. Right
Earl
off the top.
Anthony, the bowler.
Yes, Earl was very good to me, taught me a lot of things mentally about how to handle the frustrations of the game of bowling, and there are a lot of them. He was number one, I would say, a man named Rick Takeuchi, an Asian gentleman who I used to bowl with at Sunnyvale Bowl when it was still there. I'm sure next door to
Hey, you
Whitefront.
Sunnyvale High Jets people, the Sunnyvale Bowl.
Sunnyvale
my
Bowl.
God. Wait, that was on El Camino between Fair Oaks and, let's see here, Wolf probably, I think.
No, actually, no. Between
where was
it was
the
the other
Sunnyvale?
side, Fair Oaks. The other side would be Fair Oaks and Murphy.
Murphy.
Yes, between
Yeah.
Fair Oaks and Murphy.
Got it.
And I noticed yesterday, as I was looking on Facebook, there was a picture of Whitefront. Yes.
Obviously, this is where we're going to be posting this video to the Sunnyvale High Jet site. And yeah, Whitefront with that big
Yep, the big article.
looking echo chamber. You used to stand there and just yell out things and it would echo.
Yeah, well, whoa, whoa,
I think
whoa,
that
whoa.
echo's still going on for something I yelled 52 years ago. So in closing, Max, use bowling as a metaphor for life. If you're trying to encourage somebody to get through struggles, what would you use in bowling terms?
Bowling.
That's a long-winded
That's
question.
a long one. Good. Of course, Malcolm, you come up with that right now. Bowling is like life is in the aspect that you have to basically beat yourself mentally to beat life in the game of bowling. Both life and bowling are made to frustrate you at certain points in time, and there's at those points in time, you have to make decisions yourself, mental decisions as to which, it's kind of like the fork in the road, which way you're going to go.
I like that.
And that's in bowling. That's how bowling and life tie together. The same thing happens in the game of bowling. Things aren't happening now. Your ball's not rolling quite right. You now have to make decisions on what you want to do and which way you want to go to try to succeed.
There you go. Good advice. And in closing, for the second time, your top 3 bowling movies.
My top 3
And
bowling.
I'll jump in there real quick by saying, I love The Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski is just hilarious. It's a league game.
Kingpin would be number 1.
Kingpin number 1 with a small role by Bill Murray, but Woody Harrelson and
Quaid.
Oh, Quaid.
Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid. Oh gosh, that's right.
Yes. The second would be, after The Big Lebowski, of course, Kingpin. Kingpin, The Big Lebowski. And the third goes all the way back to the 1970s when they tried to make the first bowling movie, and they tried to do it seriously, but actually they did not know enough about the game, and that was called Dreamer.
Oh, interesting. So
yes,
there
with
you go.
Marshall Holman, Earl
Something to
Anthony.
look for on Netflix, Dreamer.
Yes, Dreamer. Marshall Holman, Earl Anthony's in it, Mark Roth, Dick Weber.
Yeah.
But that was made in the 70s, and those would be my top 3 bowling movies.
One of my favorite terms that I got from my next door neighbor, a lady that was in her 70s when we moved in here and sadly passed away about 10 years ago, was serendipity. She loved the word serendipity, and she used it in her mind when she painted. And it's serendipitous that I got to meet Max Epps and sit here and talk about life as we know it. So what would you like to say to the Jets out there?
Jets, you have helped, all of you have helped make us what we are. We're Sunnyvale Jets for life. Our school, our friendships, the things we made there cannot be replaced. Always remember that. Up, up, and away.
Yeah. Love it. Take care.
Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you very much.
That was good.